Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I'm about to make a true connection, and I'm going to help you do the same if you're single and dating or looking to date. How do you do that? What's the right way to do that? We're going to go through all of that. She is a conscious dating expert, a relationship coach, and she's back with us again with so much insight and information. Tamara joins us from True
Yes,
Connection.
I'm so excited to be here. Yes, I would love to focus on online dating today because even if you're not doing it, it's probably something you want to try.
Some people would disagree, depending on their experience.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so many different areas here that we could start with. So I'm going to just throw it to you. I've got, been there, done that.
Okay.
So I'm curious, anxious to hear where you start.
Well, the great thing about online dating is you can just tip your toes in the water and not go in full throttle. A lot of people are okay, like 95% of men are really intimidated by approaching a woman in person. So this is a way to, look at pictures and read a description and get some information about her first, reach out to her. And if she doesn't reply, you could reach out again and then you're done. You move on to the next woman and you could talk to multiple women at a time if you want to, just chatting and seeing how it goes. And the most beautiful thing about it is you'll meet people outside of your area that you never would have met otherwise, that you just wouldn't have access to.
You wouldn't run into them, even if in a perfect world, even if, a lot of people say, well, I used to go out, go to a club, bar, whatever. I'd run into, people and meet people.
Yeah.
You couldn't even meet the variety of people that you can with online dating. So a couple of things here, and I'm just, as we go along, I'm going to dig right in here. So you reach out to somebody, you don't hear back from them.
Yes.
You're a 2 rule, second attempt, and then that's the end of it.
That's it. Yes, because she could be busy. And unfortunately, like, let's just take Match.com, for instance.
Sure.
Once you unsubscribe, they leave your profile seemingly active, so other people think you are there. So I actually, whenever I have my online dating profile active, I actually put the date. I am, my subscription goes through this date, just so they know I'm not rejecting you. I'm just not here. So sites may or may not take your profile down, and that could be the only reason she's not getting back to you. She's not on there. She unsubscribed.
Oh, for sure. And also they want there to be a lot of prospects out there because it makes the dating site look good.
Yes.
Now with Match, many times you see the green button, green light indicator that says online now or online in the last, 14 hours, whatever it might be. If somebody has a subscription that ran out, even though they went back on, would it still show that way? That they were still active?
Oh my gosh, I hope not. It took me a long time to figure out why people were still writing me when I unsubscribed, because I would get the emails. So-and-so just liked you, so-and-so just emailed you. And I'm like, so it took me a long time to just, put this together. And I think it's just really important to realize there's so many reasons why a woman might not reply.
Sure.
And the truth is, if she's not replying because she isn't interested and she is on there, there's no reason to keep pursuing her. But I always say send a second message because she could just be busy. She could just, have an extra busy week at work or have a family emergency, things like that. And you are demonstrating that you're sincerely interested with that second message.
Okay, let's say that you've reached out, and we're going to talk about what you should say and shouldn't say in a moment, but let's say you've done it, and with Match, you can see that they read it. So, you know that they've read it.
Right.
They didn't reply. Should you still try again?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
But you don't have to. I'm just saying, though, if
everybody's different.
Once you finally find someone that you are really interested in, there aren't going to be that many people you're really interested in. And so if you really feel like you have all these commonalities and connections, so reread your first message. And then in your second message, talk about something else. So connect to her profile, connect to her interests. And that's going to make a big difference too, because if she's getting multiple messages or is in the midst of an emergency, it only takes, a couple minutes to reply back, but you are incenting her to reply back the more interesting that you make your message make. So, and connecting to her is really important.
Yeah. And
hey, how was your day? Just isn't cutting it.
Yeah, no. And we're gonna go there now. But that, thank you, because in my view of it, especially from the guy side, she's read it, she didn't reply. All right, she's not interested.
Hmm.
But if you try again with the right message, which we're going to go into now, uh, she may feel, well, he's really interested. And you got to believe that, and I hear it from women, like they get slammed. So many guys are, you're
Hmm.
lucky if you get a reply, because they've got like
Hmm.
some women just say, I can't do
Yeah.
anymore. There's just, I'm getting hit
Hmm.
up so many times with messages back and forth. And then there are the creepy guys and all of that. Um,
Right.
when you want to reach out to somebody and message them, what do we say? How do we proceed that way?
So the first thing you want to do is mention something in her profile. So you're mentioning something that you have in common or something that you found appealing about her, and it's not about her appearance and it's not how was your day. So it's beyond small talk. So you're demonstrating you are interested in her because you read her profile, because you see commonalities and you want to know her favorite spots to ski or her favorite hiking trails, things like that. Then she knows you aren't choosing her based on looks, because
Right.
it doesn't matter how a woman feels about herself or how beautiful she is. No one likes to be complimented just on their looks, their eyes, their smile. It needs to go deeper than that, because if let's say she does get 20 messages today, which not all women do, but if she does, she's going to read the ones that are, hey, sexy, hey, babe, how are you? How was your day? Like she's going to open yours because yours has some depth and interest, and you read through what she took the careful time to write.
Is it okay? And I billion% agree with you that you need to look at her profile and show interest. And it could have
Mhm.
been, she may have taken a picture in a Caribbean location, and you're like, and be genuine. Like it
Yeah, yeah,
looks like St. Lucia, but I'm not really sure. Where were you? Um,
yeah, yes.
is it okay to also show her that you find her attractive, to say, like your smile, by the way, your smile is amazing,
Mhm.
or end it with that, you're something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you just don't want it to be about the primary theme to be about her looks, because every woman wants to feel attractive too.
Right.
So absolutely, or that could be in your second message or in your third message. You know,
Gotcha.
it's just don't lead with that, because that's going to set you apart. That you really took, the time to read what she's written because you really care about learning about who she is.
And we said this tomorrow last time. I'm going to bring it up again because I think it's so key that when you started the dialogue, it began fantastic, that you need to have some depth, because right away, if
Mhm.
I get a reply and it's 3 words, and then there's
Yeah.
then I reply, and I don't, it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be this long thing, but just showing a little bit of interest, some thought
Hmm.
in what you wrote, and then you get another 4 words back. Bye bye.
Right.
It just
Right.
right away that tells
Yeah.
me you're not a good communicator. I'm not feeling it. You're not feeling it. Why even bothering? And
Yeah.
or she's floating, 5 different guys, or the guy's got,
Yep.
multiple girls. He's just like, banging stuff really
Hmm.
quick, just to reply. It doesn't really
Yes.
mean it.
Right. Right. Exactly. So what I do, and I encourage all, the guys that I coach to do too, is you've got to always have at least one question, one, two, or three questions. So not in a robotic sense, but just in a
Sure.
conversational sense. Like if you and I were just talking at a coffee shop, you'd say, "Oh, really? Tell me more about that. You mentioned your children, tell me, what activities are they into?" Or,
Right.
just connect with what she said and then add more, another question, so the conversation keeps going. Because I think a lot of people don't know what to do when, like, for instance, they've answered your question, you've read the reply, and then you're like, now what do I do? And people just stump themselves. So if you continue that keeps the conversation open. That's going to keep it flowing. And people just subconsciously will answer a question. You're going to get that reply. So ask, something interesting, like, what do you love, instead of what do you do? What do you love most about your work?
Sure.
Instead of how was your day? Tell me about your typical day, or something, what do you love best about, once they tell you what they've done, how did you choose healthcare? What inspired you, to, and
Yeah.
then they tell you about their crazy hours, and then you talk about that. And so the conversation just flows. as opposed to each person wondering, what do I say next or what? And you can start to ask questions too, like, tell me the type of interest, what relationship are you interested in at the moment?
What's the greatest invention ever? Is it Amazon or guac?
Right? Being playful like that really gets people, that establishes connection too. And then you look forward to the next message.
Well, it's also depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
you want some snappy dialogue, you want to have fun, then have fun. And if you don't
Mhm.
get it back, then it's not going to work for you. It's just not.